A long time ago, before Israel had kings, the people were led by judges, wise men and women chosen by God. These weren't judges in black robes sitting in courtrooms. No, these judges were leaders, warriors, prophets, people who helped guide the Israelites when they strayed from God's ways. In those days, the land of Canaan was full of tribes. Some were peaceful, others were cruel and strong. And the Israelites? Well, they often forgot the Lord who had rescued them from Egypt. Time and again they turned to false gods. And when they did, trouble always followed. This time the enemy was Jabin, a powerful king of Canaan. His commander, Sisera, had a terrifying army with 900 iron chariots, huge thundering war machines that crushed anything in their path. For 20 years, Sisera cruelly oppressed the Israelites. The people cried out to God for help, and in the hill country of Ephraim, under a tree called the Palm of Deborah, sat a woman chosen by God. Her name was Deborah. Deborah was a prophetess. That means she spoke messages from God. She was also a judge, wise and full of God's Spirit. The people came from far and wide to hear her wisdom. They trusted her, they respected her. They knew God was with her. But Deborah saw the pain of her people. She heard their cries, and one day, God gave her a message. She called for a man named Barak, a warrior from the tribe of Naphtali. Deborah firmly said to him, "The Lord, the God of Israel, commands you. Take 10,000 men from Naphtali and Zebulun and lead them up to Mount Tabor. I will bring Sisera to you with his chariots and troops, and I will give him into your hands." Barak looked surprised, hesitant. But Barak was afraid. Sisera's army was strong, too strong. Barak nervously, "I will go, but only if you go with me." Deborah nods firmly. "I will surely go with you. But because of your fear, the honor will not be yours. The Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman." Barak agreed. And so Deborah, brave and faithful, went with him. This is the beginning of a story about courage, obedience, and trust in God, even when the enemy looks too strong to defeat. Barak stood before Deborah, listening carefully as she spoke the word of the Lord. The message was clear. Deborah, firm but kind, said, "The Lord, the God of Israel, commands you, go, take with you 10,000 men of Naphtali and Zebulun, and lead them up to Mount Tabor. I will lead Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and troops to the Kishon River, and give him into your hands." Barak knew the strength of Sisera's army. 900 iron chariots, skilled warriors, brutal victories. He believed in God, but fear lingered in his heart. Barak hesitant and said, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go." Barak's answer was honest, but it showed his uncertainty. Deborah looked at him. This was not what she expected from the man God had chosen to lead. Deborah, calm, steady, said to him, "I will surely go with you. But because of the way you are going about this, the honor will not be yours. The Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman." And just like that, Deborah rose to lead beside Barak. A woman of courage and faith. A prophetess and judge, not afraid to step into battle because God had already gone before them. Barak gathered 10,000 warriors from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun. Together they climbed Mount Tabor, standing high above the plains below. Deborah went with him, just as she promised. Her presence inspired courage in the hearts of the soldiers. They were not alone, God was with them. Meanwhile, Sisera heard of Barak's movement. He wasted no time. With the sound of clanging iron and stomping hooves, Sisera called out his 900 iron chariots and all his troops. He moved quickly to the Kishon River, ready to crush Israel once again. Deborah stood on the mountain with Barak, watching the enemy line up in the valley. Deborah boldly said, "Go, this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands. Has not the Lord gone ahead of you?" At that word, Barak charged down Mount Tabor with 10,000 men behind him. God confused Sisera's army. Their chariots got stuck. Their warriors were thrown into panic. It wasn't just swords and strength that won the day. It was God who fought for Israel. One by one, Sisera's troops fell. None were left. But for Sisera he ran. Sisera, the mighty commander of Jabin's army, ran for his life. His 900 iron chariots lay broken in the mud. His soldiers were scattered and slain. The Lord had turned his strength into weakness. And now he was alone. He ran past rocks and bushes, stumbling over roots and dry grass. His armor clanked with each step. His breath came in short gasps. The proud warrior was now a frightened fugitive. But then he saw something. A tent stood nearby, quiet and still, belonging to a woman named Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. Now Heber's family had made peace with King Jabin. Sisera thought this was a safe place to hide. Sisera panting, "Please give me water, I'm thirsty." Jael welcomed him with gentleness. She didn't give him water, she gave him milk, a sign of hospitality. She covered him with a blanket, helping him lie down. Sisera was weary and desperate. "Stand at the door of the tent. If anyone comes and asks if a man is here, say no." And with that, Sisera fell into a deep sleep, exhausted from the battle, confident he was safe. But Jael had made a choice in her heart. She knew Sisera was the enemy of Israel. She knew what was right. While he slept, Jael quietly took a tent peg in one hand and a hammer in the other. She stepped carefully beside him. So Sisera died, not by a warrior's sword, not in battle, but by the hands of a woman, just as Deborah had said. Soon after, Barak arrived in search of Sisera. Jael stepped outside. "Come, I will show you the man you're looking for." That day, God delivered Israel from the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan. The people saw how God could use anyone, man or woman, warrior or homemaker, leader or servant, to fulfill his purpose. Deborah began to sing, "Praise the Lord. When the leaders lead, when the people willingly offer themselves, bless the Lord." She sang of courage. She sang of faith. She sang of how God raised her up when others were silent. She called out the tribes of Israel, those who fought and those who stayed home. Zebulun risked their lives, as did Naphtali. But why did Reuben sit among the sheepfold? Gilead stayed beyond the Jordan. Dan lingered with the ships. Asher remained by the covenant. Deborah wasn't afraid to speak truth. She gave honor where it was due, and challenged where it was needed. Then she sang of Jael. "Most blessed of women is Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite." She struck Sisera down with her own hand. Through the window she looked. Sisera's mother waiting for her son. "Why does his chariot delay?" she asks. "But he will not return." And there was peace in the land. For 40 years, Israel rested. God had spoken through a woman. And all the people knew the Lord was faithful. Deborah reminds us that God can use anyone, young or old, man or woman, leader or helper, to bring light into darkness. When we trust God, when we step forward in faith, He gives us courage beyond fear, and victory beyond what we could ever imagine.